Greetings and salutations. Ben here. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang. If you close your eyes, it's the Sunday Night Hang podcast right here live on the YouTubes, all part of the inner Google. Thank you, our overlords, Google. There we go. If you're new, please subscribe. And tonight, I'm hanging return engagement. That's right, because he keeps the fabric onto the top and the bottoms on occasion, because he does both sides now. Because he does it the right way. Charles75N, the king of Vibraprint guitars. Don't tell Texas Toast I said that.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We've already got a Scarborough suitcase in the chat. What am I talking about? 24 viewers. We've got, hey, you want to get a shout out? You got a shout out. Hi. Yeah, so let's get into this. We've got Tinkerbell. He's awesome. Eddie Van Haskell. Awesome. Leo Safko. Awesome. Paul McNary. Awesome.
Martin from L&M Guitar Corner. He is here, and he had a really long day today, and he is beat to hell, but he is here.
Yes. For how long? We don't know. And I understand, Martin, if you drop out, fall asleep, that's okay. You can catch it on replay, as you often do. And Martin's like the only guy that leaves comments on replays. Only one. Yep, pretty much. Just saying. We've got Zach Thong. We've got the one and only Dave Ennis. Muddy Waters, all Dave, all night. Corey's Garden. Let's see who else is here. Gear Junkie 35 says Mr. Fabric Top himself. Yep. Swan 72, Blackjack Guitar. Thomas Santiago. Thomas Santiago. Thomas Santiago. Hey, yeah, Guitar Man 45. He says enough of that. Just say my name. Just did. Yep. Already said hi to you folks, and then it skipped. Joe C made it. Awesome. Leo Safko, Dan of New Jersey, Magic Man, BC Rich 581.
We got Blackjack Guitar.
Blackjack Guitar. Magic Man says, I love Ben being so punctual. This is the only time. No, that's not true. If I got to be someplace, I like to be on time. So let's see. Martin's on mobile. That's fine. Terry's 3Gs. Never heard of him. Nope. Randy Crooks is here. What's up, Randy? Craig T. Tomlinson, host of Twang.
I tell you, House of Twang, you're outstanding. Guy, he comments almost every video I do.
He's awesome. Mark Taft is here. Mark and I are, you were talking about what you were doing with your space, Charles. Mm-hmm. Mark Taft and I are doing the same thing here tomorrow. You do not want to see what's behind the camera. It ain't pretty.
It's behind the camera. It doesn't count, my friend.
Gretch Zeppelin's here. Some guy named Charles75N. Never heard of him.
Never heard of that guy.
Nope. Travis Barris. Sure. Travis. Zach Thong. Sandra's here. Lovely Sandra. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I don't want to miss out on. Oh, there's unfucking believable. Ooh, yeah, I can say that. We're 4 minutes in. Billy Baloney. Some guy named Ben Coombs. Never heard of him. We're in the pregame right now. That was the
Cushman NYC.
Yeah, Cushman was in way early as well, I remember. Pops! Quentin James himself. Jeff K. Ooh, I feel pretty good. That was an extra big sax solo prior to the show. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of names. I'm feeling it. T. Ricky. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he does.
Whew. All right. So what are we talking about tonight? We're going to talk about his latest project. Sure. Mark Dillon. I say both because I don't want to offend anybody, Charles. Why is he saying project? It's project. And then I say project. And all the people that say that, why is he saying project? It's project. It's like, I don't know.
I'm
bilingual.
Right?
Let's just say it's my bilingualism kicking in.
Let's
go with that. Yeah.
I like that.
Sure. Local dialect. Good. Go with that. Mike knows what I'm talking about. He says, I hope everyone's having a great Sunday evening. Well, it's a little greater now that you're here, buddy. Got 51 people here. Awesome. Because it was like 36 a bit ago. Cool. I need a beverage. Oh, dang. Look at you. I was just around, man, I really have the pasties. God damn. Yours is all deckled up.
Well,
I see.
you know, I was watching a video today, and there was this guy on it, and he was cleaning up this cooler, and it looked like a good idea. And I said, I've got one, I could clean it up. And he said he might put decals on his, and I figured, well, I'll put decals on mine, and he can catch up.
Oh yeah, you be the trendsetter. That's right. What's up, Aaron? I was FaceTiming with Aaron at some time. I don't remember when that was. It was fun. Recent. Yeah. So I was wondering, folks, do we do a live soda pop reaction on the Sunday Night Hang for the first time? We have a choice of 4 beverages from 4 different manufacturers, companies, if you will. I think one's Canadian. The rest are all imports. Nope. 2 Canadian. Can't remember already. There's a couple of cans, couple of glass bottles, Charles. That's what I'm saying.
Bottles and
Like the variety in there.
Living dangerously.
I am not... all right. I'm a fan of most of them that are in there, folks. I'm not going to lie. But as Quentin would say, there's type 2 diabetes in one of them. Just pure type 2 diabetes. Because that's all the way I could say it is. And what we'll do is, if I get a super chat, I will do a live soda pop reaction. And then we just choose. Pop Shop, I will say, Corey, is one of the 4 choices. Choices. Sure, let's go with that. And now, Charles, my question to you is, do we mention the 4 kinds of pop before? Or is it just random? Like I can't tell you which of the 4 is the Pop Shop pop, for instance.
It depends on how badly you don't want to drink the bad one.
Oh, I do not. I don't know why I bought it in the first place. There's a couple of that. I like the photo I sent you earlier. I think 2 of those made it into tonight's, and one of those, I do not like that flavor in life. I don't know why I bought it. I meant to put it back. I ended up buying it. That's what happened. Not a banana pop, actually. I have done one. All right. Randy Crooks, so we are definitely doing it. All right, we have that. So, Charles.
Now you're obligated.
All right. So let's get the... this is why I put on pants, just for this, folks. This is the only reason why I'm wearing pants tonight. So we have the 6-packer. Oh, God. So how about I just give the companies, but we won't give the flavors. Does that work, Charles?
I think that might be fair.
All right. So we'll say number 1 is Pop Shop. Okay. Number 2 is Fanta. Someone write this down. So 1 is Pop Shop, 2 is Fanta. 3 is another one of those Grace brand island sodas, but I'm not saying which flavor. Where are they made? I don't know. Mexico? No. Canada? Maybe. Don't know. Can't show it off. Don't want to show it off. And then we have, I don't even know who makes it, but we'll just say number 4, Tahitian Treat. Hasn't been sold in Canada in 25 years, Charles. I remember it as a child vaguely. So 1 is Pop Shop. Thank you, Sandra. 2 is Fanta. 3 is, we'll call that Island Soda. And 4 is Tahiti Treat. There. Yeah, Mayhem put it too. There we go. Oh, all right. So we'll let the voting start with House of Twang. So we have 2 votes for 4. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, God. I might get lucky here. So the Tahitian Treat's the only known flavor we have. But I will tell you, no 2 flavors are the same, folks. One of them is a fruit base, I guess, we'll say. Yeah, it's a fruit. Another one is just diabetes in a bottle. Another one's a little more sedate. We're getting a lot of votes for Tahitian Treat, is what I'm seeing here. Now, I do remember drinking it as a child, I want to say, up until the mid to late 80s, probably mid 80s. It's almost universal here. All right. But I will confess, Charles, I may have bought a bottle of it drunk one night during a trip in Charlotte.
Oh, really?
I don't count that because I don't remember what it tastes like. You know, I was at a C store, you know, and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm getting this. And Doug's probably like, you don't need that. I'm like, I do. And then I had it, but I don't remember it.
I think that's settled right there.
It looks like we're going with number 4. All right.
I think it is settled right there, my friend.
All right. Now, I'm going to tell you, Charles, I know you watch all the videos. He watches all the videos, folks. So you know that recently I did a Fanta berry reaction, which I'd never seen before. And I was like, hey, this is canned in Atlanta. Like, this is American. This is not what, you know, because I'd never seen it before. When I bought this and the rest in the photo that you saw, when they do the beep through the cash register system on it, it comes up with the price and it says US pop.
Love it.
So, you know, it's bootleg pop, but they're like, yeah, we know, but we still got to keep our accounting straight. We got to know what's the bootleg. Sweet G. Okay, so this is not that, although this might be type 2 diabetes in a can. We don't know. But what I had in my head as type 2 diabetes in a can or a bottle, which will be coming up soon. Okay, first of all, this stuff looks like freaking washer fluid.
Oh, the first sign of greatness.
That's right, folks. Cotton candy flavored beverage. If that is not diabetes in a bottle, I don't know what is.
It most likely is, but I would think that would be pink instead of blue. But
oh God, that's going to be, yeah, because the blue cotton candy, that was like that, you know, like mainline sugar. The pink, at least, you know, that was like, well, ease you into it, Charles. This is for your addicts. I am not looking forward to that. Because I aged out of cotton candy by like age 8. I was just like, no, give it to Amanda. I do not. Yeah, look, Windex, BC, right? Exactly. It does look eerily like Windex.
It will clean your windows.
Although, now there's a video. You put that in the Windex bottle and you're like, and people are like, what the deuces? Like, yeah. All right, so because Randy Crook said so, Tahitian treat fruit punch. Oh God, do I even want to look at? Okay, so 12 ounces, $3.55, same thing as Canada. Fine, naturally and artificially flavored.
Aaron is saying that mixes well with vodka.
What doesn't? What doesn't? Vodka mixes well with vodka. All right, so you know a can is shifty, Charles. I'm just saying when I see the label and then I rotate it to read the label and I just see the label again, like there's like nothing to see here. Just a palm tree, another palm. Oh, there's the logo again. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, that's definitely American style. It's all 180 calories. That's up there. All right. Healthier. Just. So far, the bar for this pallet has been the 50 grams of sugar I endured with the orange Pop Shop. Oh my God, that was disgusting. Well, this comes in at a, you know, they're like, no, we got you. It's only 49 grams. It's not 50.
Where was the banana on that scale?
What's that?
Where was the banana on that scale?
I don't remember. And I think I already recycled the bottle. It wasn't bad. I was actually surprised. That really didn't have a chemically aftertaste. Like, I'm not saying I drink it all the time, but I'd love to pour it over slush or something. You know, like you'd want it. Yeah. I can see do it now. All right, here we go. See if I remember this smell. Oh yeah, yeah. That's
thank you, Jerry.
Oh man. All right, here we go. All right, that's not as bad as I remember. But wait, I still have the pasties, so we'll see. Okay, yeah, that was pretty sweet. Oh, okay. We'll just. Oh, yeah. Somebody's not going to sleep anytime soon. We're going all night, folks.
Your drink.
Jesus. Yeah, that's good, though. Yeah, I guess that's about what I remember. Kudos, folks. You know, it didn't somewhat.
Yeah, the glass.
I guess I'll have to get another one of those to make an actual reaction to. But yeah, I've had it before in life, technically, so it doesn't really work. Oh, yeah. All right. So, you know, we're 15 minutes into the show. So there we go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I think I'm going to, do I need another bowl? Why not?
Well, I tell you, Randy, I'm not venturing into any new territory. Right now, I'm drinking Rail Ale Coffee Porter.
Oh, yeah.
It is a local Texas brew from Blanco, Texas.
Well, it's not Longhorn.
You can only get it this time of year.
Longhorn, Lone Star. What's the Texas beer that used to be really popular, but I think it was basically PBR or worse quality?
Yeah, Lone Star was basically the PBR of Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have lots of it, and it's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to have a small bowl, and the small bowl kind of became a bigger bowl. It's not so small bowl now.
And the other flavor I'm working on tonight is also the Shiner Bock.
Oh, yeah. So. Can't remember if Doug likes those or something. Excuse me. Oh, that's just a sweet coming up for the encore performance. Hey, Buzz. What's up, buddy?
Hence the cooler.
Ooh, okay. I'm back. So, oh, and yeah, that's right. I forgot to upload, download. All right. You skim the chat for a minute, Charles. Pay no attention to me.
But I will say I did get a tracking number this morning.
Oh. Did you?
I did.
Am I surprised?
No.
No. Not even a bit. All right. So let's minimize that for now. Close that. Close that.
Hey, Randy.
Stop. Because a few people have mentioned it. Oh. How do we do this, Charles? I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I don't run things. I'm like,
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Oh, share screen. That's it.
Ah.
Yeah. Should have mentioned that. There we go. So some sad news today, Charles, and I'm going to touch on it again tomorrow night because it's worth talking about, but we lost an icon today. Rest in peace, Howard Hessman, 81 years old, a.k.a. Dr. Johnny Fever. Dr. John Fever, Charles, or John Caravella.
Love that show growing up, man.
Name. He was my spirit animal before I even knew it.
Yeah.
I just remember, there's something from day one. I'm like, that guy,
It was all about the attitude.
Yeah. Talk about a cool hang.
Mm-hmm.
That guy. So, yes, I wanted to mention that. So, yes, rest in peace. Godspeed.
Definitely.
And, very cool. 4 seasons. You can find them online, folks. I got the box set, which is nice. It's nice to have. So, So I saw that this afternoon, and I wanted to mention that tonight. Not necessarily truly a DJ, but I think all of us that are into music and stuff always enjoyed that show.
Well, that was a character. If we were gonna be a DJ, that was the one we wanted to be.
Exactly. Oh.
Hey, I know that guy.
Oh.
You know what guy? Who guy? What?
Well, I know you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, pronounce that name.
It's 1ZX4110Y681577009.
Great. We can get into that later, and there's a reason. There's a really good reason for that. Gentlemen,
Yes, go ahead. I just realized I didn't acknowledge it. We had Boner Jams do a super chat, and I totally Missed that. Hang on.
Well,
There it is.
Well, take care of the boner.
Exactly.
Take care of-
Speaking of what, please bring the ball gag, dental dam, and the Reese's Pieces into the bedroom. Oh, damn, wrong chat. What's good, everyone? What's up, Boner
It's always
Jam?
the right chat. It's always the right chat.
So you
Hold
can't
on, let me
take
set up
that.
my phone so I can follow the chat
And Max
as
Josephson's
well.
here. Milk, it is strawberry lime haze. What's up, Mad Raj? RJ, the mad one here. Leo's kind of working stuff out. I don't know. PC Rich 581 says, "Yeah, I'm halfway between Johnny Fever and Skunk Baxter." Well, you know what? I referenced Skunk Baxter not in my playing, but the fact that he sat down while he gigged, I always liked that idea. So I'm like, why am I standing? And they're like, you got to stand. It's rock and roll. I'm like, Skunk doesn't stand. When SRV was all coked out, he wasn't standing. He'd sit in a chair and rock his ass off. Like, sit down. They're like, no. Come on. They're like, no. Come on.
Well, he had to sit down because he was falling off stages when he was all coked up. So that's, and he was playing 12s on his guitars,
12s
which
would
is
blow him over
that would blow me off stage alone.
This is true.
For sure.
Hello, Mr. Pedals.
Oh, there, Lawrence.
Oh,
God, that is sweet. Whew.
Yeah, so welcome to Canucks with Sodas. I am your special guest, just a smart ass. Real quick before I continue to be a smart ass, a message for our friend Tom, because I hope he's listening, is that we love you and we miss you, brother, and we're thinking about you. And all the shit that I've been through over the past 3 months and still am continuing to go through. It's you are near and dear to my heart, brother. So get well soon. Continue to grow that beard, please, because when you make your grand return, it's going to be fucking fantastic. Oh, did I say the word fuck? Oops.
That's okay.
Well, I'm not unfucking believable. Tom is, and he is awesome. So we're thinking about you, brother. So,
Definitely.
Just so I just wanted to get the serious and true stuff out of the way. Okay, so let's go back to talking about horrible sodas or something.
Well, I want to say hello to Dylan Washburn in the chat. Michael B is here.
Dylan?
Oh, somebody else. Oh, Janice. That's who I want to say hi to. Janice. I'm just rather high myself right now.
Hey, thinker.
This is that point in the show where Ben doesn't mind it when a guest gets a little long-winded. He just kind of sits back. You may notice that from time to time if you're a regular viewer. Ben's just kind of like,
So unbelievable. You want to talk about that tracking number I got today?
We can talk about it.
I see a few people in the chat have mentioned it.
Okay, well, there's a couple different things at play here. My screen name isn't the tracking number that I sent to Charles, because I'm pretty sure that it'll get there to him just fine from Arizona to my home state of Texas. Born and raised in Houston, Charles. Just to remind you, brother.
There you go.
And he's outside Austin. So that got sent. And I'm good on my word. Finally. Bought a soldering iron to desolder everything off the guitar. Like most guys, I read the directions.
No, should we remind folks what guitar we're talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. If they know, they know.
We'll remind them. But just real quick, is that these are the directions.
Directions?
Yeah, didn't read the directions. Anyway,
we're
talking about I can't even remember. I forgot to look it up. Yeah, but it's the Kramer Beretta Special that I had promised last time Charles flashed his first, and at the time the the latest fabric top, which looked amazing. And so I put out there as a challenge is that I'm going to give this guitar to Ben, but I'm going to send the body to Charles first, and then Ben will have to put it all together. So apologies for the delay, Ben, Charles.
All good.
Viewers, I apologize. I'm good with my word, but I sent tracking numbers to Charles and Ben. And so, Charles, you should see it, I think Thursday or something.
Thursday is when they said, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's Thursday, and then we can talk about it from there. But the fun part is, since Ben loves UPS so much, and I know that he does. Well, here's the thing: I'm lazy. I can't change my own strings. We already talked about that. I didn't have boxes for the body, so I took it to UPS so they could wrap it, put in a box, get it all nice to Charles. I did the same thing with the neck and the box of all the parts and a couple other goodies, and we can talk about other goodies that are being sent to you as well, Ben, in a second. But there's another goodie, so when you do the unboxing with Sam or Amanda, look sharp. But I also sent it to him to UPS. And according to Ben, he's on the blacklist. So follow the bouncing ball, take a screenshot, copy and paste that 1ZXY. Yeah, pronounce it. I can't. That. And then you can just follow the fun along with all of us. Because will it be delivered to Ben? We don't know. I don't know. We're going to take bets on it. We're going to take bets. And part of the bet is when, and what's the over-under on that? Will it take 2 weeks? Well, with all the snow and storms, but how long will it take? And how much will he be charged? Because there shouldn't be any charge. But how much will he have to pay? But really, will it be delivered at all? What do you think, Charles? Will it be delivered?
I don't know. They might be afraid. They might be afraid.
Well, here's what I can say is that when because like I said, I'm lazy. I didn't have a box for the neck and parts. With shipping, there shouldn't be any freight just because by shipping cost alone, the value of that guitar basically doubled by shipping alone. Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
Well, yeah. My question is, one, does it arrive? And two, when it arrives, if it arrives, assuming it arrives, that's what I should say. Assuming it arrives, how much are they going to charge me to put it in my hand? No matter what it is. Because I don't think they're ever going to drop off anything for free from outside of province or country ever again. If it arrives at all. I'm just guessing now, and that's assuming the package, assume it looks in the condition worth receiving too.
Okay, well, that's why I had them pack it, because like I said, I was too lazy to dig up a box for the neck and the stuff.
That's not to say it won't.
They can pack it, and then it's on them. But the declared value, because it's a Kramer Bretta Special 2 or something. I don't remember exactly. You'll see it soon, we hope. But the value on the body, I had to put a value when I sent it to Charles. I said $20. Value of all the parts and everything else, I said $10. So if they charge you more than that, then everybody copy, paste this tracking number, and then we can all harass Ben for the betterment of this. Because if he's charged anything, then we can all harass him. Like, I followed this along. Yeah, so follow the bouncing ball, please. Please, this could be fun.
See where it goes.
This could be fun, yeah.
That's my guess. They're going to charge something. I would be shocked if I just all of a sudden opened up the door one day and they were just sitting there.
Well,
Shocked.
then I'll send you a super chat to make up that difference. I will. So what does oh, John is saying $10 import and $175 Ben tax. Ouch, John. Let's hope not. That would be almost as much as what it costs to ship it.
Yeah.
So what is the over under for time? What do you think? 2 weeks?
Ship it?
Yeah. Yeah. At the
I'd say
same
at
time,
least
a week.
I figure it goes a week late.
I don't know. I think it's because what did it say for it? Did it say an estimated delivery date? I can't remember.
No, not with the storm cyclone.
I didn't think so because I remember
everything.
William had the same thing. Was he had gone into a UPS store and they had told him, "Oh no, he won't pay anything." Blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, I'll ship it with you guys. And then UPS told me, they're like, well, UPS store isn't us. Those are just franchisees. They're not actually any part of UPS and they don't know, blah, blah, blah. Well, somebody should tell them that. He's like, that's not our responsibility. I'm like, I think it is because they're representing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of my rants that are no longer available on this channel.
Well, we can start a new rant right now.
Yeah.
Once again, copy that. Everyone.
Yeah, I will just
copy that shipping number, and then we can all just follow along. And then if it goes wrong, then we can all harass them as a community. Because I sent something to Ben that's cheap and it's a gift, and once Charles finishes with the body, which we'll get to in a minute, it's going to be a fantastic instrument, and there's just going to be time and effort put into it by Charles, but the expense to send it, and then he walks up to the counter and has to pay something, we should all harass them about it because it's bullshit. Sorry, did I curse again? Fuck.
That's okay.
I mean, darn, sorry.
Well,
didn't mean to. Sorry,
yeah.
Shit.
All I can technically say is I will neither confirm nor deny that I am. This has been relayed to me from the company. I'm not even going to name the company. I'm just going to say the company their security division told me I am on their banned list for deliveries, so I will never see one of their vehicles on my property again. And I can neither confirm nor deny that there was a police report filed over something I may or may not have said in a voicemail or during a phone call. So that's according to them. So in theory, I shouldn't get the package at all. So
okay, so that's interesting. So
I would
well, maybe, but and hopefully, but if they charge them for that, I'm going to be.
Of course, that was after being told though that they don't have a banned list. Because I said, how do I get on a banned list? Because I don't want to deal with your company anymore. And they said, we don't have one. I'm like, of course you do. Like, Charles Manson orders napalm. You don't deliver to Charles Manson, do you? No. Well, there's a ban. You know, like they're like, so you want to be on that list? I'm like, yes, because I don't want to deal with you. You're a bunch of yahoos.
So that's interesting. So I would think that even here in Arizona, if I put in your name and address, they would say, no, we can't do it. Yeah. It should be suddenly that no, he's Charles Manson and I'm sending him napalm, which would be really fucking cool.
It would be kind of cool. Like you might be hassled. No offense. You might be hassled for 12 to 14 minutes. You know.
We may have to do that next time, thinking about that.
I'm just
napalm
saying.
And
hence my reaction when you sent me a tracking number that didn't compute into the U.S. Postal Service system. Like, what's this? And you're like, UPS. I'm like, uh-oh. Oh, see you, Lawrence. Lawrence was in. He was out.
Hi, Lawrence.
Sorry, says they didn't like Ben greeting the drivers wearing yoga pants. No.
Yeah,
There's
and
image
that was the other
yeah.
part of something that I meant to say, Ben, is that you had started the show and say the only reason I'm wearing pants. Well, thank you for not pulling a QJ. Shout out to QJ's other cheek, but we don't need to see any of that. So thank you, because we don't want to get this demonetized or anything with the public
No.
community. But thank you, QJ.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben, for wearing pants.
Yeah. And that was even referenced in the latest with the FAQ. Because Dylan from Flipside was on that episode, and Ike decided to check it out on replay. He was pleasantly shocked. He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had another thought.
Yes.
For a topic of conversation, Ben, is that playing in a band live,
Yes.
things always go wrong. The drummer does a new roll, or the lead singer gets lead singer's disease and decides to vamp on too long, or you break a string or something, and then there's a train wreck. That's what we always used to call it, was a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Where things just suddenly break down. You either have to restart the song or something like that. What was your worst?
Completely forgot how to play a song.
What was the song?
Oh.
Don't remember? Wow.
No. Well, no. Actually, I'm the problem was, part of the problem was I was in a similar condition then that I am in now, where I used to know the song. And then it got to the point where I was literally standing on stage watching Richie play it to figure it out. Because I had played, it was weird. It was one of these weird things. Like, I couldn't remember if I played it with or without a capo, because our singer played with an acoustic with a capo. And I couldn't remember if I was doing the same phrasing she was, or I was playing similar to what Richie was playing. And I was pretty lit. And I pretty much just stood there the first half of the song till I kind of figured it. Like, I was just not catching on. It was not good.
Charles, have you ever been in that kind of situation?
And the last time I was in that situation was back in 5th grade, and I was at my first clarinet recital, and I completely forgot the piece I've been working on for 3 months.
Oh.
It was awesome.
And we got an update from Dylan. Yes, positive vibes to Dylan. All right. So they will be back soon doing videos, dental surgeries and car accidents.
Oh, take care, Dylan.
Yeah.
So I brought that up because
yourself.
There's so many. What I used, I was in a small band, and playing local dives and stuff. But I would always be good. I was always good friends and took care of whoever was, say, opening for us, or that we were opening for them. And sometimes they would ask me on stage to play, just, because a lot of times they would borrow my amp, whether it was opening or closing, and that was all good. And I was good with that, and I'd play with it. I'd play through that, and whatever. But a lot of times I would do stuff just to mess with them, to make it a train wreck. So, all right, Chris, we're gonna play "You Really Got Me," and I'd say, okay, cool. And then I'd open up with, say, like "All Day and All the Night" or some other Kinks tune, just to mess with them, just to. The worst one I ever did, my bass player, we used to practice on Wednesdays, and we had a gig on Saturday, and we had a gig forever, and I was adamant for weeks. It's like, we got to be tight, we got to be good, we got to be solid. Let's run through the set. Let's take 3 hours and run it through multiple times. No stage moves, no, I'm not into that, or bullshit. Don't care. But he showed up, the bass player, so drunk that he was on the mic like this and just leaning down on it. And I just knew this is going to be a disaster. Well, at the gig, let's make life performance art. So I tuned down a half step
Mm-hmm.
and started the first song and then watched his eyes go, oh shit, as he frantically tried to retune during the first song. And, it's just, an original, song. It starts like on, an E7 and then just descends, just. Okay, so it's a massive noise, and then watch him frantically try to tune. And then the next song, in between, I went back to standard tuning just to mess with him again, and it was a train wreck. And like I said, life became performance art.
Hey, Michael
Sorry.
B. Awesome. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, Michael.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And hello to Benjamin from New Zealand. I'd celebrate, but I'm still pretty damn high. And apparently I got to remember to find a cat carrier or two. Because, oh yeah, Amanda has to get her cats fixed tomorrow. So I got to put them outside for 7:15 a.m. No, they're going outside tonight, and you hope they don't blow away.
Oh, Michael, that's great. I'm looking at Michael Krause's our singer did the jump ahead to the chorus before the verse is done thing. Half of us followed him, half didn't. Possum King did never sounded so bad. Yeah, been there, done that. And yes, Scotty, bass players are always drunk.
Yes.
They always are.
Oh God, my bass players usually were. Actually, one of my most fun and busiest summers playing was when I was playing in Smile Harder, which was female-fronted classic rock band, up into 90s alternative. And our bass player, it was the summer of acid for him. So he was on acid every gig. Sometimes an hour into a trip, sometimes 7 hours into a trip. You don't know. He was so nice and polite. Rather, he was usually surly. But I was like, what's up with Larry? He's really, I don't know how to say normal. He's like, oh, acid. I'm like, oh, it agrees with him. Jesus.
Yeah, one more quick story. The reason I left that band is I left my guitar over at the other guitar player's house, and I walked into the drummer hacking away at it with a can opener, the sharp end of a can opener, because he was on acid, and saying that the guitar was evil.
Oh.
So, okay, Charles.
So apparently acid for bass players okay, drummers not so much.
No.
Interesting time.
People tune in for these words of wisdom. I'm telling you, folks. If you want more of this, make sure you're subscribed and you have that bell rung for,
Got it,
God,
Michael.
I do not want to get into what I've been on at various times in life and playing gigs. That was a party band. Jesus, because we're a well-oiled machine, and that's never good when we all have lifestyle choices. Oh.
But if you grease the wheels, then it is good and everything flows together. You just don't expect to show up to a friend's house to see your drummer hacking away at your guitar. And I wish it's in the other room. I wish I had it. I'd show you, because I kept the damn thing. It was like, yeah, this is going to be a story to tell someday. So I left that band. What you got there, Charles? Onto better things.
That recent fabric top that we just finished up, the Strat.
Bam!
And
I love how that headstock turned out too. It looks so Friedman-esque.
Well, that was the idea behind it. I was trying to copy a Friedman style headstock with that, because I figured this was such a cheap piece of crack guitar to begin with that it needed something special. So it had to have the matching headstock. And I said, well, what am I going to do with that? Because I wanted to keep the original name so people would see what this started as.
Sure.
And so I said, I'll do that cut out like a Friedman. But we got the back that's the same way. And if you see where I turn it, you can see how the gloss is on it. When I did the LP Junior, I didn't use the gloss. I used the semi-gloss.
Right.
because I wanted that.
What do you prefer?
It depends on what you're working on. It depends the look that you're trying to get, because I wanted this to look like it was brand new. With the LP Junior, I wanted it to look old, and it did that, and it did that thing where the white kind of went yellow in the pattern, and it had that vintage thing. So I threw the vintage tuners on it as well. It just kind of trying to carry that vibe through that whole thing. I wanted it to look like some old beat up kind of thing that had been around for a while. With this one though, I wanted really the design, and I figured by having the gloss on that it really would show. And for me in this design, it was all about these circles here. I wanted to get these three circles to show up down on the bottom here, even with the cutout for the output jack. But
that's
that
fantastic.
was, it came out better than I thought it was going to. And the thing about doing this one was I did this one in half-assed. I tried a bunch of things I hadn't done before. I kind of pushed through some boundaries that I didn't think should have been crossed. Did some things in the right way, kind of thing, just to see how it would work out and if you could fix it. So I made mistakes with this one on purpose so that the next one that I'm doing would come out perfect.
Fair enough.
Make mistakes on the next one too, please, because then you're going to send it to Ben. So that'll be awesome. It's just part of the project. Fuck it up. Sorry, I keep cursing. Sorry. Mess it up as much as possible, and then film it all, please, because the videos that you do. If you don't know that Charles has videos on YouTube, check him out.
Terry's been pulling the link up there to Charles's channel. Yep, Charles's channel.
Yep. Thank you, Terry. That's perfect, because his videos are really, really cool, because I'm not a fabric top kind of guy, but I mean, it's just great. It's just great. They're entertaining. And as you can tell, he's like down earth, super cool. And so that's
a nice
exactly all that you want.
A nice balance of content versus editing. It's like nobody wants to watch me spend 20 minutes stringing a guitar. But you also don't want to do it in 3 seconds, right? You gotta show some, but you can't show all. Also, you don't want to Bob Vila it. I'm going to remodel this guitar. And there it is. You're like, what happened?
Yeah, I think I've got a good mixture of doing both.
Yeah. Thank you.
When you're baking a cake, you want to show the ingredients and how you mix them all together. And what you do, Charles, is really cool, because it's a mixture of both. So I really enjoy and appreciate the content that you put out, as I do Ben, obviously, but somewhat. But
I would think Michael B.
I really super appreciate that, because like I said, I've made the videos I've made have only been really for me, and the fact that other people watch them is just like a bonus. And it's one of the things where it's a big thrill when someone makes a comment on a video and tells you how awesome what you just did was. It'd be, especially because I'm one of those people, I'm overly critical of the things that I do. I know where all the mistakes are, and those are the only things I see when I look at it.
I watch your videos and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that or can do that, or like I never judge it as I'm like, oh, I would not do that to a guitar. It's like, I don't know if I can, or I'd want to attempt I can. I don't know, because it could be, it leads to phone calls to people that we're talking about off air, Charles, and he doesn't want that phone call from me.
No.
Can you imagine making a phone, I'll fill folks in. So we were talking off air how Charles was at, like, I was saying how I would watch Dave's World of Fun Stuff videos, and I took something from that and put it into my videos. And then Charles was like, well, I took something from your videos and put it into mine. And he's like, it's nice to have a resource you can get ideas. I'm like, for the love of God, I would not want to fuck up a fabric top and call it Dave Rion.
Well,
no, he, what he'd probably say? Lose my number now. Click. That's it.
I will tell you, I'm a big fan of Brad Ingrove and the folks at Texas Toast Guitars. And I watched a whole bunch of their videos before I even tried the first one. I haven't sent either one of them a link to my fabric tops at all.
Same here. I have not asked Dave to check out any of my videos. Like, I don't need that feedback. Like, I know we've seen them and stuff because we've talked. He's like, well, you know how to do that. I'm like, how do you know I know how to do that? Unless you've seen that I've done that.
Hey, Ben, do you know why this one has P90s in it?
Because of me.
Yeah.
I figured as much. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, speaking of which,
you were going on and on about the P90s in your signature, and
yeah,
because it was shortly after you did the pickup change.
It's never been the same since.
And I was working on this, and it was starting to look really good. And I said, because my original plan was just to keep the 3 Squire single coils in it, but then I started liking the way it was coming out. And I was like,
right.
no, I'm going to do something special. It's a budget build because this was only a $24 guitar to begin with. And I wasn't going to put a whole bunch of money into it. And, but I was just like, well, it's got to have something because it's coming out too good to leave just 3 single coils in it. And I never had a P90. And Ben had just done his pickup change video or was talking about it or one or the other. It was topic of conversation.
Oh, it was probably I'm going to say talking about it because after seeing what I did with mine, you probably wouldn't have done it.
It must have been. And so I was just like, well, I got on a P90 kick and decided I needed to have some. And so I found these, the Wilkerson P90s and got both of them for $20. I was happy. I was like, okay.
Oh, how do they sound?
To answer Scott's question, he says, keeps looking at this PV Classic back here. Wants to know if it's one with a phaser in it. I didn't know they had one with a phaser in it, but they did. This one, no. You got 4 inputs. You got bright, series, parallel, or normal. That's cool. Then volume for the bright, volume for the normal, shared bass, middle, treble. Then you got your reverb. Then you got your tremolo with your depth and your rate. And then the master volume. So, no phase. That'd be cool with a phaser, though.
Charles Tinkerbell wants you to show another fabric top. That
I think I could do that.
I know you do. But since we're all feeding the addiction, I figure.
Charles is wearing shorts just to piss me off, and it's not because I don't love your legs, Charles. It's because of the temperature, you bastard.
That's right. It is too hot.
What
here.
it's. Yeah, it's 70 degrees here today.
Don't even start with too hot.
And my wife had sat there and said, my wife was impressed with this one. And this got me, and because this was coming out as well it is the reason why it has the TV Jones pickup in it. Because I was given permission to spend the money on TV Jones because she saw the front and top.
Look at that. And as you're showing that off, Charles, I'm just going to let you know I've converted the local temperature to Fahrenheit just for you, buddy. It's 5.
Ooh.
What's the temperature there?
If I told you I was sweating a little bit right now, would that mean anything to you?
Oh,
well, I'll tell him. It was that.
I just hope it's nerves from appearing on the Sunday Night Hang.
I'll make Ben jealous. It's 70. The high end here in Scottsdale was 72. So yeah. Lawrence, Phil, and I say hello, Ben.
At least I won't melt.
And you're welcome to visit anytime.
Yeah, we're high 60s here, so.
Yeah. I don't like it once we get into the 80s, really. Like 82, I kind of, that's it, and that's pretty March for you? Yeah. No. Too hot.
Well, it's funny because I'm from Connecticut originally. And my wife is
so you're just loving it, especially this year.
So, it's always hot here to me.
No doubt.
Right? I don't care what time of year it is. And so my wife and I have always argued over that thermostat. And to the point to where we're both working from home right now. And I couldn't take it anymore because she kept cranking the heat because she was cold. And I says, look, I'm dying. And I'm trying to, and I'm a trainer. I train for the state over Zoom. And I was like, I'm dying here. I can't have that. And so I got her a space heater, and she just cranks the space heater in the room where she's working. And it's basically saved me. But when you walk to that room after being anywhere else in this house, it is like a wall of heat and moisture. It is 80 degrees in there after the way she's running.
Yeah, I should say, I thought of Unbelievable the other day. I saw a meme, and it was a Canadian meme, but it made me think of you because, I know you and your compatriots there, and in the I don't know what is it, the fire of hell state. I don't know what it is. But it's a dry heat. In Canada, we say, but it's a dry cold, because when it gets to 5 Fahrenheit, it's a dry cold, so it's not as damp and
Yeah, that's always my response. They say, yeah, it's a dry heat, and so my response is, yeah, so is the surface of the sun.
Yeah,
It's a dry heat. We don't measure everything in Kelvin here, but in July and August, maybe we should. But I'd rather deal with the heat than the snow.
I get
Can't
that.
do it.
Yeah,
Can't do it with my arthritis anymore. I'm old. So
exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, the arthritis is not great, but that's when the dryness kick. You're like, you almost want it to be that cold, so it just dries out. But then your guitars are like, oh, that didn't have fret sprout yesterday, because your humidity will drop 20% in a day.
Well, that's like, in here, it'll be super cold in the morning, and then, you'll need to run the air conditioner in the afternoon. Try to keep the guitar in tune.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get it. Me, they're going out of tune because of humidity as much as anything else. Janice was wondering what part of Connecticut you were originally from.
Janice, I was from East Hartford, Connecticut, just across the river from the capital.
There we are. Hey, Fruitcake Tony.
So basically central Connecticut.
Yeah, I noticed a bit of fret sprout again on my Wolfgang, and it's just like, do I really want to deal with fret sprout on stainless steel frets, or is it that's a summer guitar or a 3-season guitar? I just don't play it in the dead of winter.
Sure, you were talking about fret sprout, and this is the guitar. If we're friends on Facebook, if you know me outside this, then you know that I've been doing a fair bit of traveling as of late. And with this guitar and the fret sprout, and I contacted Phil about it and said, what do I do? And he's like, take care of the frets, Chris. Just take care of the frets. Because the fret sprout on this is it's so bad. It's just,
right.
It will, if he does his sock test on it, and this is just, a traveler guitar acoustic electric. I picked it up today and tried to play for like 5 minutes, and it was cutting on my hands. I mean, it's bad. But once again, I'm too lazy to do anything about it.
That's me with the Wolfgang, because they're stainless and they're sharp. Like, whoa, okay, yep, okay. We'll just put that guitar down and pretend we didn't play it, Charles. And then we pick up the Gretsch. The Gretsch is nice.
I love the Gretsch.
It doesn't do that.
I love the Gretsch.
I know you do. The Gretsch is kind of in silhouette tonight for you.
I'm just waiting for my Gretsch at the right price.
Yeah. I get it. Hey, Hog Rotten.
Hog Rotten asked a question earlier, I think that we missed. I think he asked how much would it be to do a guitar like that? Can you do a wrap then clear coat it?
Oh yeah, there you go.
So it's durable?
Can you do a wrap then clear coat so that it's durable? Yeah, that's what Charles has been doing. He's been putting a clear coat over his, right?
Oh yeah. So what you do is you've got to take your body down the wood, and then you can use your tight bond or another wood glue, and you give that a really good coat, because if you use it too thin, it won't stay sticking to the body, and then once you start applying the poly, you'll have lifting. So I've had some comments in my videos about how much glue I'm using. There's a reason why. Because you've got to have a really good glue.
And Charles likes to use all the glue.
That's right, all the glue.
All the glue.
I've had spots where I haven't done that, and it's lifted on some of them and had to peel back and redo. And so from experience, you've got to give it a good coat, but you've got to make sure that that coat of glue is completely flat.
Now, and I should be honest, as far as I know, folks, Charles has done 2 of these guitars. So that pretty much makes him a Craigslist expert on the subject, as far as I know. So listen, he knows, kind of.
I've spent enough
you look
time
good to me. I was like, I play that.
With the fabric top Strat, I did a lot of re-adhering the fabric.
Oh, it's got all the curves too.
Use enough on the back.
Yeah.
And so I will tell you, and it's really about getting it smooth, because you don't think you'll see a bump once you start putting the poly on, but you will.
Yeah.
And so you really start with that. You got to make sure it's sanded down, that any of the defects in the wood are filled. Then you do your glue, put your fabric down, let that cure. And that's everything with the fabric tops is patience. Let things cure. And then from there, I like to use, I will roll on my poly, and I'll use this Minwax poly, and it's a satin poly. And I'll build up a bunch of, it's a clear semi-gloss. And
so you're not at the point of dipping it in a pail yet, is what you're saying. You're not at that point. You're not at the point of just dipping her in a pail, and that gives you that nice made in Japan.
And I've seen guys where they'll do that. They'll take their whatever they're using for their clear, and they'll put it in a box, and they'll just dump it as a nice thick load down there.
Yeah.
And and it works. You can do it, but I want to go ahead and I'll layer it, and I'll put it, at least 5 coats of that semi-gloss poly on it, and make sure.
And are you standing between each coat?
No, because I'll put on when I'm putting on coats, I'll wait until it's tacky, and then I'll put on another coat. That way you don't have to stand between, and they'll naturally adhere. Now, if you let it dry, if it dries out all the way, yes, you would have to. So I will, so when I go ahead and I start adhering that poly, it's all roll on. It is all, it is all going until it's tacky, and then putting on the next layer. And so I'll put at least the 5 coats on it. And then from there, I will wet sand it down to smooth, as if I was just going to polish it up and be ready from there. And with the fabric top Strat, then I went to a spray poly, and it's a gloss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I did put the gloss on the LP Junior as well, but I dropped it back because I didn't like it. It took away the vintage look, and it was
too nice.
And you can look at if you look at the video from it, and you see it hanging, and you see how nice and shiny it is. It was too good for what I wanted. So I took all the gloss poly when I wet sanded it. I took all the gloss poly off it, and then went back and buffed it. So, but basically, I put on semi-gloss poly, wet sanded that smooth, and then you can do your spray poly. Now your spray poly, it's going to go in several really thin coats. If you put it thick, it will drip. And I, over and over again on the fabric top Strat, on that upper horn, I had to sand that all the way back to the satin poly 3 or 4 times because I kept getting a drip in the same exact place. And it's really all about you have to be patient. You really have to be patient. It's got to be super thin coats.
I'm nodding. He's shaking his head.
I'm shaking my head because you got far too much patience, or that's wrong way to put it. You have much more patience than me, Charles. For me, it would be like when Ben had the rattle cans painting a certain LP junior body blue, and he kept doing it over. It's like, well, this may match. I don't care. Oh, it's windy. I don't care. That would be me. That's like me with my guitar playing. It's just punk rock, and I
This
don't
one?
care.
You can't tell.
Oh, but that looks great, Ben. It
You
turned out
can't
great.
tell from the video, but that happened a lot on that fabric top strap. There were a whole bunch of shortcuts I tried to take in doing it, and I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of hours I had to straighten out mistakes because of it. And so it all comes back to, you have to have that patience, or you will be doing it over and over again.
Well,
So
once again, please make all those mistakes with the Kramer. Send all the outtakes to on that body. On the
I'd be like, how does a guy get a color run in a fabric top? How?
Yeah, send all the outtakes to Ben and me so we can share. We can laugh.
I'm just picturing. I'm going to look at the guitar on about the fourth day I own it. The fourth day I own it, I'll be turning around. I'm like, oh, there's the price tag. Oh, look at that. He's got the price tag and you won't even feel it. It'll be just perfectly blended in. There we are then.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. Gentlemen, I got to go. I really just wanted to step in for really.
Well, we always appreciate it. So for those who don't know, copy that number down and follow the journey. See if it arrives.
Follow the bouncing ball. Charles, you're the man. You're awesome. Ben, brother, love you.
Love you too.
Get better, man. Got to see you soon. Much love to Cayenne. Amanda, Doug, all the family. Chattersphere, be good. Karma is real.
Awesome.
So I mean, the funny thing, if any.
By the way, Unbelievable's coming on. Sorry.
Right. For those in the chat that don't know, the reason why I got into fabric top straps, it was really Ben's fault. I bought this. I bought the LP Junior for the neck to put it on my SG that had a broken neck, and the neck pockets were different. And I could have made it work, but I didn't want to force it. So I was like, what do I do with this thing? And I was in the chat talking with Ben one day, and I said, look, do I paint it? Do I fabric top it? What do I do? And,
and you said the magic words right there. I'm like, what? And you're like, fabric top? I'm like, fabric top junior. I'm like, okay. And I thought, that's pretty cool, Charles. That's pretty cool. And then when you said, I'm thinking this for a pickup, a TV Jones, and I'm like, oh, now the cool factor just tripled. Because all of a sudden you took a little okay guitar, and the cool factor now it's like a 14.6 at least. I don't know.
It's it's funny. I've got about 50. I paid about $50 for the LP Junior. And,
now, outside of time, I'm curious. What does it take to do a fabric top? Assuming you already have a guitar, you got a guitar. I want to do a fabric top. So you got your cost of fabric, your cost of glue.
You're going
to want a roller, a scraper. You're going to want to have a few tools that you may not necessarily have. You can use a credit card, but just don't use your wife's credit card. It's cheaper on you if you use the wife's card.
Oh, definitely.
I can say that because I don't have one. So
you figure if you shop right, you can get all the materials for basically $60.
Nice, and then it's just time.
Depending on where you get into where it gets expensive, it depends on the fabric.
Right.
Now, I will the Paisley that we did the LP Junior in was twice as expensive as the fabric we did the Stratton. And it was just the way that worked out, right? So it depends on how that goes. But honestly, I think the Strat looks better just because the intricacy of that pattern and the way the colors work together. And it is that. And as much as I love that pattern, I'm not even sure if I want that for the Kramer, because that turned out so well on that. Like, I don't like, it would be cool to have a matching pattern, but on the other hand, that is its own unique. Like, that just turned out so well that
I think if you tried doing a similar pattern and tried to do the same thing on another Strat, like if similar layout, so you look at it, it's like that. It's like a movie sequel. Yeah, it was good, but I don't know.
Right. And that was the thing where I was going to hold that fabric for the Kramer, but then I wasn't sure whether it was going to come or not.
Right.
Just because I didn't know if Chris was just joking or not. And I got to a point where I needed to start making another video. And so I used it, and I said, I will find, if it comes up, I will find something unique. And it was the thing, guys. I know that Ben doesn't want to have twinsy guitars with me.
I wouldn't. I have twinsy guitars with several people.
But that's the thing about having a fabric top guitar is that they're unique. It's something that no one else is going to have.
Right. I'm debating a corduroy guitar. But I haven't figured out what it would have. Like, it's got to be some like 70s guitar, like a guitar that's period correct to do it with. Like, I don't know what it would be.
And that's the thing. And those Kramer Focuses, it's more kind of like a shreddy kind of guitar,
right? And
so I think
it needs to be hippie-esque. So I'm not sure necessarily a Paisley, but because Paisley's been done, that's why I like what you did, like like what you did with both your guitars. It's not the usual. Oh, okay, like a Fender fabric top, essentially what you would picture in your head. You don't want something like that. Which fabric has the best tone? That's a good question.
The tone's in the poly. It's not in the fabric. It's about the glue.
Denim versus polyester.
That's right.
Sure. Yeah, I'm thinking you'd want a thinner fabric as possible. Ooh, I wonder how silk would work. Like something like a shiny silk. Would that show up as extra shiny with a clear coat over it?
It might. The thing is, how is that fabric going to interact with the glue in the wood underneath?
And not just absorb it completely, right?
And so, like, you've got to watch. The big thing is your fabric colors.
Yeah.
Right. So you're better off going with a darker fabric palette because it won't show as much.
Right.
And so that's why, like on the LP Junior,
right,
where it was all super white, it yellowed because that's the glue yellowing it.
Right. Which is cool. That's a cool option.
It was cool. It was what I wanted. I picked that fabric. I knew the white was going to do that. Just because when you put something darker behind it, it's going to pick that up. And then when you put the poly on it, the poly has a slight yellow tinge to it anyway. And so I knew there was going to be some yellowing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the lightest color on this one is the yellow. So the yellow isn't going to yellow any more than yellow.
Right. Right. And yeah, it's very largely complementary. Yellows and reds, they're going to absorb the glue much easier.
And what really comes out in this pattern to me is the purple color.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the fabric, my wife picked up this fabric. We went shopping for the fabric on both the guitars the same day because I had both guitars at the point. My wife didn't know I had this one, but I had both guitars. This one was hiding.
She doesn't watch this channel, Charles.
And
he's like, it's that hippie guy again. He's watching.
This was one of those. The reason why I bought this one, this was a Phil advice one. Buy an old guitar that you're going to work on the frets and all that kind of stuff and mess up. That's what this was. And I bought it. And I started doing that. And I took it apart and it sat in a box.
Michael Krause, that would be for where you're playing the wedding dates, because it's a formal occasion. That's when you got the Canadian tuxedo on. Which for those that don't know, Canadian tuxedo being jeans with a jean jacket.
Yeah. Do you want the functional pockets is the question.
Yeah. Well, you keep just the little change, your pickpocket anyways, that you got on the jeans, right?
Yeah. And, but it's like, so it's really all about, when you're looking at a fabric, you're going to look at how light it is, how thin it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want a really thick fabric, because in a really thick fabric, you could do it, it'll work. You're just gonna have to put a whole lot more poly on it.
So you don't want to do a fur wrap,
right?
Like a
And so,
mohair. I see you got you get me the 4-inch long fur hanging out ZZ Top style or ZZ Top, depending on where you're from.
okay, tell me.
Charles doesn't want to do that. That's a pain. He'll be all matted.
Defects. Do you see any defects in this?
No, hang on. Let's even, for the sake of soloing, we'll solo you out. Yeah, like, dude, I wouldn't tackle that. It's too many curves. That's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at cursing.
I can see this because it's all. There are some places here where you can see the white line of the fabric.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm looking at that. Yeah, like, for me to make it that good, that's cursing, thrown tools, throwaway video, started as a series. There's only part 2 of 5, and the rest never came out. That's, yeah. I got a series of video. I got video series like that clips on my phone going back 2 years, Charles, on a project I never finished, and I haven't deleted the videos yet. So I'm like, I might get back to it, but like, dude, people will notice your hair is a 1.5 feet shorter in the video.
Well, it was like I said, this one. I started doing this one when we started talking about, when Unbelievable started talking about sending the creamer body. I was like, if I'm going to do this.
No, Janice, I kid.
If I'm going to do this for Ben, I've got to get another one on my belt. And I got to screw it up every way I can think to screw it up so I can figure out how to fix it. Right. And so hence the wrap around on the back for the side.
So you're planning on wrapping the whole guitar?
Well, that is the question that I was going to ask, because one of the things that if it was a telly,
right,
one of the things I would want to do with a telly is I would do the back and the sides, I would do the top and the back and the sides with its own piece of fabric all the way around. And then I would
possibly a different fabric around the sides.
Huh?
A different fabric around the sides, even. You know what I mean? Because especially if you get some of those T styles that are a little sharper edged, not as big rolls on the edge, so you can really bring it in for a defined edge.
Well, yeah, and that was the idea. If I was doing a telly, I would do, like I said, I would start with the piece of fabric on the sides all the way around.
Yeah.
Do that. And then I would poly all that first and trim that. And then I would do the back and the top. And then I would put it on a router and route it out for double binding. So that's the
look at you.
In my mind.
Oh, right? You're all just, here's Charles ratcheting it up.
There's no way to make it look good otherwise. I don't. You've got 2 fabric seams to deal with.
I'm already thinking. I'm like, can I get Charles to build me a Waylon Jennings tribute guitar?
And Ben, for you, I'd do anything. But
that wouldn't be cheap. That's a lot of tools leather. That ain't cheap.
But
you're in Texas. Who do I know? You might know a guy.
Not profile. I'm doing that with the Kramer. There is a vinyl fabric that is tooled leather look in both dark brown and. Oh my God. I just thinking like a tooled leather look, but it could be like, instead of Waylon though, it's like a Richie Sambora, but you know what I mean? Like it's a hybrid clone type thing, because it's a Kramer. You do it to a famous Kramer player or Eddie. Eddie. It would be its own thing, and it's one thing with the Kramer. I'm trying to decide whether we want to.
There's the whole option for animal prints.
Whether we want to do, whether we want to wrap it all the way around like we did with the Strat, or whether we want to just do the top and the back like I did.
You could do that and then just do like a gloss black on the sides or something like that. See, that would work if you did like a cheetah print, where it's a yellow and black, because that especially if the dark complements it.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was trying to. So I figured we'd talk about it because I was wondering if you wanted to keep any part of that white. And So my idea on it was,
Yeah, alligator skin, or I was thinking a snakeskin guitar would be pretty damn cool.
yeah, it would be cool. So I was thinking I could go ahead and when I go shopping, get you on the phone with me and take pictures.
Well, that's it. Yeah, unfortunately, and for those who don't, folks, he has my number, so he can. You'd be like, yeah, I'll be like just tooling away outside. Oh crap! Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And so
we'll go swatch sampling together.
Exactly. So I figure I'll pull a bunch of things, put them on the table, and take a couple pictures.
Sure.
And and we can sit there and decide what you want.
I like animal prints. I like the hippie prints. It all depends on what mood I'm in. I'm a true Gemini that way. Whatever mood I'm in, just it could be anything. Although I do like the idea of doing a hippie-esque Kramer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the point, and that's why
the juxtaposition of it. Yo, Paulie.
I'm going to try to find a fabric like that, and we'll definitely look at that.
Yeah, especially something in the same family as what you have there, and
yeah, this would have been ideal for it, and so now I feel really bad about it.
Oh, no, I'm so happy because that turned out so nice. Tie-dye would be interesting.
Yeah, I've got a guy
the back. You can do a solid burst from the center.
I have a gentleman that my wife works with, and he had a son that passed, and we had to go into her office we had to go into where she was working, and so he's a guitar guy, and he plays some, and so I showed him some pictures of the two fabric tops, and he was blown away, and so he is
get back here. Sequin tank top material. And I saw earlier he had mentioned, 80s tribute, like go with black spandex. It's like, wow, that's a nice gloss black. Actually, it's a fabric top of black spandex.
Oh, that's too much. But he wants to go ahead and find a fabric that's something that was his son's.
I was like, Joe, I assume that's off-white and being kind.
It's got to be. But he wants me to do a tribute guitar for his son that passed, and so he's nice. Currently looking for something that his son wore all the time that we could sit there and use to do it.
Cool. I dig it.
But no, I'm excited about doing it. I'm glad the Kramer's coming here. I've got
and there's much more in store for that Kramer. Assuming things get delivered, because I've got several, I think, tracking numbers. Oh, dear Lord. So, what somebody didn't mention, and I assume these aren't just random gifts, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying there's a purpose. But a fella didn't tell a fella, and a fella forgot to ask the other fella. But apparently there was wiring, and there's a pickup. But that's not the stuff that was in the guitar. So that guitar is getting, I guess, upgraded, if you will, to a DiMarzio Super Distortion.
Ah.
So we'll have all the output, all the gain. Perfect. And what was dubbed as a EVH wiring kit, which is just a volume and I think a kill switch.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Now, I've already decided upon myself that I'm going to delete the kill switch out of their kit and insert my own kill switch. Tesi Switch, link down below.
You have to do that.
A fella has to. In the world of Mazel, I should say, because I've got, I don't know, a couple, three. I keep them in stock is what I'm saying, Charles. Just in case a fella or fellette wants a kill switch installed, I have them handy. So I figured Mazel, it's right there.
I love Ian's idea, leather and lace.
Leather and lace. Yeah. Lace would be interesting. I don't know how you would like. You would almost want to do like lace over a burst or something, so there's something behind the lace, but you'd have to find some kind of a clear adhesive that you'd almost be suspending it as much in the stuff as anything else.
Well, or you could do it like when they paint cars, right? What they'll do is they'll take the lace and they'll stretch it over, then
and then
paint through it,
spray,
and then take the lace off.
Yep. Yeah, I remember. Well, for those who don't, my dad, big car guy. So growing up, he had the car magazines, dated back to the 50s through the 60s and stuff. So I'd see all the original lowriders, and they were literally taking their mothers or wives' lace dining room tablecloth, because that one of those over a roof of a roof of a car. Oh, it looks cool. Or a hood.
Well, I tell you, I almost went that direction on the fabric top Strat because I originally started with the pickguard with the singles, and I was gonna cut out the P90 shapes, and of course my Dremel couldn't find the right attachment, and then I found it, and then the disc flew off the Dremel and disappeared.
There.
That's the end of that. So I ended up cutting it with a hot knife. And it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And it was like, this is not going to sit into this guitar the way it's looking and do it. And so I said, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll fabric top the pickguard, but in a contrasting fabric. And so I was looking at, I was in looking at old fabrics that we had, and we have some old lace curtains that I was going to use, and the pattern was tight enough, but then I realized my wife would kill me if I actually did it. And so I didn't. And so I took a kind of terry white dress shirt that I had and did it. And I did not like it at all. And so I scrapped it, and I bought a new pickguard instead. With all,
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is coming out too good for the pickguard to look jacked.
Wow, that is not getting any less sweet as you get down in the can. Wow. That's something. I kind of remember that. Be good. Yeah, summertime over ice. Just a water. Let that ice melt just a little is what I'm saying. A lot of these, I think, are meant to be poured over. They should say, do not drink straight from. This is not a dispensing device. Distribution, yes. Ice, glass, good.
But I think lace could mean, if actually fabric topping with lace could make a really interesting thing, guitar if you had the right pattern.
Yeah. It's all like the right pattern, the right amount of openness, and what you have behind it. Because then you want it, that's almost like that solid cover with the burst relic through type thing. Like you want, all depends on how you want, or you go for a solid color underneath, there's a lot of.
Where it makes things difficult is where you get to the edges.
It's all about the edges. Yeah, you do not want to be wrapping lace around curves, and
it would not look right.
It would get very trippy very fast. And you're like, oh, that's just weird and obnoxious. Okay, that happened.
Well,
and you can't. It's not as easy to inlay pieces either to make stuff work.
No, and I was the other thing I was thinking about too is I on the LP Junior I did front and back, right, but I probably could have gotten away with just doing the top. And it probably might have, and it would have looked just as good, because a lot of those high-end guitars that they do, like all the fancy, all the fancy tops with only the top is fancy, right? The back's all solid mahogany or whatever, and it still looks high-end, right? And they'll put a thing of
put enough gloss on it, and you can keep adding zeros, Charles.
Yeah. So
how much do you want to buff it, right?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to the time you want to sit there and blend it in, because it's there's a lot that you can do with smoothing down the first couple layers of poly, because what you do is I'll glue the fabric on, and put down like 2 or 3 layers of poly. And then I will trim it with a razor blade and try to keep that a straight, consistent line. And then, you poly a little bit more so that you can sand the edges down into making it just kind of blend in so it feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the top here with the horns, they still don't feel right to me. This is the only place on the guitar where it's not super smooth, where there's not really, really thick layers of poly. And so that's the place about this that I'm really not happy with. But again, everywhere else it feels right except for the inside curves of the horns. Everywhere else it feels real good.
Nice. Mark's back. What's up, Mark?
But then I came to a point where I literally tried to fix every error on it that there was to fix.
Mm-hmm.
And at a point where I had to sit there and say, at one point, I had to say, okay, this is what it's worth. This is how much time you have invested in it. For what more you're going to do, how much, you're not going to, I wasn't going to add any more value, right? So
sure.
Like, how much more time do I want to spend working on it? And, but it was a really enjoyable project, and it still came out better than I ever thought it was going to, especially since I did so many things the wrong way on this one.
Or you did them the right way.
Yes, did them.
It's all about perspective.
But like I said, I wanted
35.
I wanted to do that intentionally so that when the creamer came up, that if something happened, I'd know how to fix it.
Wow. Speaking of, because I know Tank likes it. Speaking of Mazel, Mazel go for, we'll go for another 15 minutes or so, and Mazel will have another bowl while we're at it. Because why not? We'll celebrate Michael B becoming a member there. Renewing membership. There we are.
Let me go ahead and get a liquid refreshment.
You get a cold snack.
I will do that.
Because Charles is sitting on the drinker's side of the chat tonight. I'm on the captain's side. He's on the drinker's side.
Well, someone's got to balance it out.
It's all about balance.
Besides, if I don't drink, I might not be able to keep up with the saxophone.
I get it. Sometimes I can't keep up. That was me tonight. I don't know what's up. Lack of sleep. That's what it was. Did I sleep? Yeah, no, I slept.
You have a good evening, buddy.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mark and I are getting together tomorrow, and we're going to, I don't know, do some work around here. And
be careful. That is a black hole to follow into, because I've been kind of.
You have no idea, dude.
I've been.
Well, no, you do, because I got plans to figure out. I want to reorganize. Hey, New York City pizza sucks. I might change this up a bit, but then we got the whole other set next door that we need to work on as well. So, and that, I don't know, is that going to be a new set for, I don't know, Tuesday night? Yes, Canucks 2022 season premiere.
Looking forward to it.
I guess. I don't know, is this season premiere? The season hasn't started yet. Could call it that.
So, did you like the current mods on the telly?
I did. I think although the funny part was, as I was watching it more, I'm like, because I wrote the comment partway through because I really like some of the tones, right? As I watch, I'm like, I think I already have this wiring in my signature guitar. Because I don't know, because all I told him was, this is how I get my guitars wired, because I don't wire my own guitars for obvious reasons or certain things that. Right? This is because it's me getting into a lot of stuff on YouTube when my guitars were all wired. Charles, I told him, here's a 4-way switch. He's like, yep. Goes, what do you want in the fourth? I'm like, I want it to sound like a Strat. I don't know. Is that phase? Out of phase? I always call it out of phase because people call it that out of phase pluckiness or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's out of phase. Is it series? I don't know. Parallel? I don't know. All I say is, and I always tell them, I want that right next to the back position. I want all the way back is bridge, then Strat, then both regular, and then neck only.
You know what you need? You need a guy.
I got a guy.
You got a guy.
God.
So now,
He's not local yet.
I got a guy because like I said,
I can't wait till my guy moves to this side of the country.
Still hanging in the chat here, believe it or not, as late as it is for him. He's the one that sit there and walked me through. He walked me all through that. He looked at what I already had. And I had just keep in mind, I had just wired that with the 4-way switch in series.
Yeah, I know.
And it had to
Michael B says the chat's blurry. I hope it's not blurry for everybody. Yeah, that's true. Hep Metalworks. The 24 Hours of Daytona did wrap up today. I didn't see who won. Helio Castroneves, I think, won the overall, amongst others.
And I didn't understand how to do it, but I wanted to understand how to do it. And so Martin and I got to talking, and he did that thing where he made all the 3 different control plates for one for the Baja wiring, one for the Esquire, and one for the Broadcaster. And I decided I wanted to go ahead and do the Baja. So I went and got an S1 switch, and I went and got the capacitor. And he started making that video, and I was his guinea pig, as he went. I said, okay, let me see if I can go do it. I followed his video and did it. And that's why in my video, I stole all his diagrams.
I love their videos. I love their live hangs. Oh, my God. Charles, okay, we don't do it because we don't travel the world too much, whatever. But you hear about popular TV show in America, they'll redo elsewhere, same as popular British shows are remade in America, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And you hear about, the Lithuanian version of Friends, and they'll show it, and it's, I tune in, I was like, wow, it's the Austrian version of Canucks with Guitars.
Yeah, it's you and Richie all over again.
It is. I was just like, wow, this is awesome.
Those, and those guys have adopted me. We keep in contact through a Skype chat every day,
right,
and stuff. And Martin has stayed up with me for hours on a chat, teaching me about wiring. It's just, they're fantastic guys, and Cranar's on that as well. Everybody
check out L&M Guitar Corner.
Yeah, the L&M Guitar Corner, excellent channel. Cranar's got a great channel as well.
Yeah,
those guys have really kind of taken me under their wing and taken me into their group, and I appreciate that.
You're on that European tour, Charles.
I used to when I was in the Army, I was in Germany, and so I used to vacation in Berchtesgaden, and of course Austria is right across the border, so I would go into Austria. So we had that connection, started talking about it.
Nice.
I spent quite a bit of time in Austria.
I've never been to Europe,
so it was but it's a lot of fun. It's a great thing about this community. It's like all the people that I really talk to on YouTube have been through this channel right here. That's the community that you've created, in a community where folks are really built working with each other and coming together. I think it's coming together off of this. I really do.
There you go.
No, please. Those guys deserve it. They're awesome. But it's like, I've had some, of the last couple of years, I've had some really tough times. And
Hip Metalworks does anyone else have an expression exists for tokers like cheers applies to trigger? Yeah, I think it's still cheers.
Yeah, I think so.
Bottoms up, no. But cheers. Yeah, it works. Works for me. Let's use cheers.
But Ben, last couple of years, I've had a couple really tough times, and it's been, there's 2 things I do when I have that. It's either all the lights get turned off and Pink Floyd's Brain Damage gets turned up really loud, and people know to leave me alone, or I'll turn on Canucks with Guitars.
Nice. Speaking of which, not to toot my own horn, but it is my channel, so I'm going to toot my own horn because we got the 48 people still watching. That's the hardcore crowd. If you want to help a fella out, what I would like to do, folks, is 2 weeks from tonight, coming up the milestone of hitting 1 million views. So I'd like to hit that milestone prior to 2 weeks from tonight. I can't go all night. No. We have other stuff to do, Magic Man. I'd like to, but no. But what I was saying is, Charles, is That's 14 days away, basically. And a fella gets about 800 views a day. See where I'm going here? But shows or days like today where I put out content, like tonight, we'll get 1,000, 1,100 views on today. Not on this, I wish, but overall on the day. But what I'm saying is, I think I might be a day or so short the way it's been trending up and down, because a Gear Junkie 35, who may be watching on replay, he's had me on the auto player, so I don't know what's going on. And Randy Crooks, he's been reporting in, and I know you've been doing it too. Because I just I'm like, why are 3 people watching this show from 3 years ago or whatever it is? Or, you know, because I see it, and I haven't checked my analytics, and I know who it is. It's you 3 awesome guys, which thank you very much. But if you want to help a fellow out, hit up a playlist or 2, and you know, want to get. So it'd be nice to be able to do the show, because if it doesn't look like I'm going to do it, I'll book something else that night, because it would be cool to hit it the million views on Sunday, whatever Sunday that is, the 13th. I don't know. Let's look.
There's a great part of that too, is especially when you start watching the different playlists and you watch how the channel evolved from the beginning to where it is now, and it's really cool. Like you said, some of my favorite stuff in here is what I call the vape house session. I just you know, back when you were doing the Vitas every day, right?
Yeah,
and those were just really so cool, because it was okay. What's Ben doing in the middle of the day and lunch? And then you have a customer come in. It was awesome.
Yeah. And Absolute Mayhem would swing by once in a while.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
so definitely. And what we'll do that night is, I figured, to celebrate 1 million views, because it's not like, I'll be honest, it's a lot of work over the last 4 years, but it's you guys, so we'll do a group hang. You know, and whoever wants to come on, you know, it's an open invite. Whoever wants to come on and hang out for a bit, and then we'll just keep it rotating, hopefully, you know. Or it'll end up one of those nights where there's 4 of us hanging out, and that's it. You know, I don't know who the 4 are.
Thank
you know, Charles. I never know beforehand. I never know.
No, you never know who's going to show up.
Yeah. So that should be. But next week, which is the week in between, we have returning to the channel, which is always fun because they know about gear. And one guy's been buying a lot of gear, including he's got one of the new Maestro pedals. Don't know which one it is, but Matt and Dan from the band Sleazer are coming back for a 3rd appearance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I hit them up earlier today. I said, hey, you guys want to come on a week from tonight? They're like, Matt's like, hang on, let me check with Dan. And it was like 5 minutes later, he goes, we're in. I'm like, awesome. Let's do it. So, 1 week from tonight, Matt and Dan. That should be fun. Mark says you can count on me to watch a bunch of videos. Awesome. Let's see. Ian says, anyone? Let me go to Ian's previous comment. Hey, Sean Zimmerman.
Same thing. But said you can count on him to watch some as well.
Yeah, Sean Zimmerman. He's been around like since day one. Yeah, I was going to say, and I always say like day one because there was like 30 people that jumped in over the first month. So, and I think Sean's one of them, you know.
I know that I started watching you early on, but I can never tell how early on because I've watched everything.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, it would be whatever you caught live. If you're watching the chat on replay, you would know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess. But then again, you could have watched for X amount of time before ever chiming in.
Yeah, there was. It took me a while to start actually contributing to chats because I was sitting back and just enjoying stuff.
I don't see Ian's comment. Ian, could you repeat your comment, maybe? It's what? Oh, it's blurry. A few people are reporting blurry. Has anyone tried the pedal pawn SRV in a box? I am not aware of it. How early on was I, Magic Man? Blur. Don't feel insulted if I'm wrong, but I want to say 2 years. But then again, Charles feels like he's been around since day I want to say 6 months in. Like I want to say I was still working for the vape shop, but not necessarily still doing videos from the vape shop when you start tuning in.
Right.
It all depends on before or after my first NAMM check.
Yeah, I wasn't super early on. I know that. Yeah. But I figure 6 months in sounds about right.
Robot Master Switch is in here. Yeah, Sean remembers me and Richie. Yeah, that would be about what, the first year. I think he left after about a year. 15 months or so.
Yeah.
Oh, anyone joining in? Yeah, Ian. Like anybody like somebody hits me up. They're like, "Hey, it's Bob Smith." I'm like, "I don't know Bob Smith," but you're like, "Hey, it's Hog Rotten." I'm like, "Oh, we know Hog Rotten in the chat." You know, like you gotta, Michael B was easier, Charles. Yes. Much like yourself when you hit me up. Fortunately, when you emailed me as the first time, the return had your first and last name. And I went, well, that makes sense. I was able to piece that. I broke that code. I broke the code is what I'm saying.
I figured you might. But, but that's a great thing. I watch, the list of people that go through your chats, right? And there's the same people that are in the chats I'm going everywhere else. You are really like the nexus of the positive guitar community. And so, and it goes back to, like I said, I found you through Phil's chat. You were always, you're moderating in Phil's chat. And one day he said, Ben has a channel. I was like, I didn't know Ben had a channel. Hold on. And I went and just watched everything.
See you tomorrow, Billy. See, I love that. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Like Billy's one of the regular. I know Billy gets busy at times, but he's here when he can. I get it.
Magic Man,
someone's got multiple tabs open, Charles. If you don't like the camera work, blame Absolute Mayhem. He was with me. You get to see me wear my winter boots, I believe, because Mayhem doesn't know how to frame.
And I want to thank Tinkerbell as well, because he gave me a really great comment on the fabric top Strat.
I like
he actually had to watch it twice to get it all in.
See, that's what I try to do, Charles. And speaking of which, because I was promoting it because the views are down on it, might as well. Mazel, since we're at the end of the show, I put together a playlist of the Soda Pop reaction videos, and Aaron from Albospan said when he saw that the other day, he just put that on just because he's just like, that's just you. Like it. I was like, yeah, that was the point.
Hence the cooler.
Ian asked, what's a moderator's job? To get rid of the people that pop in to try to self-promote their weird little websites that you see on all the channels lately. That's that's the latest iteration. What a moderator does is, like, what I'm talking about, Charles, those little, they come up in everybody's channel.
Those Russian little things that are coming in, the Russian bots that are coming in and putting weird websites in.
Exactly. Take care of that. If I go, hey, Terry, for instance, because I know Terry's good at it.
Terry is phenomenal.
Terry, can you throw a link into this? Because only moderators can put in links. Moderators also, sometimes y'all got a bit of a potty mouth. And sometimes those comments get held back, especially depending on the level of dirtiness you got your filter set to on the YouTube channel as the host, I guess, owner channel, creator, if you want.
Well,
you have like some people, you can say damn or ass, but it'll go through fine. But it won't on other channels. So I got to go, you know what? Charles is cool. Like if I'm moderating your channel, Charles, right? And I'm like, you know what? You've been saying ass a lot tonight. So obviously you're okay with it. So I'll allow it. But if you come in, you're like, hey, Charles is a big old poopy head person. I'm like, you know what? Charles doesn't appreciate that. So we're going to get rid of that individual because he needs to find another channel where he can find a hug, because obviously that person is angry and needs a hug.
Keeping what the positive vibe in the community is. If you're saying a word and it's just, and it's like, for example, Boner Jams.
Oh, right? you gotta approve Boner Jams.
Boner Jams, his stuff is all over the place. But I will tell you, there's never been a comment that he's made that is ruining the positive vibe of this
Yeah,
community.
yeah. There's never any. It may be technically offensive, but it's not offensive. Yeah. It's like,
It's like we're all adults.
yeah, exactly. And my channel's not set to be advertised to YouTube kids because I figure there's glass saxophones and cussing, and and not everyone agrees with it, and I get it. It shouldn't necessarily be forced upon you if you're against it. So, all you have to do if you see me come up and you're not interested, you click the 3 little dots, at least on a laptop, and you go, I'm not interested in this channel. And guess what? YouTube will go, you know what? We want you to spend time on YouTube, so we won't show you that anymore. We might show you once by accident because you're watching similar channels.
I will say anyone that does that to this channel is missing out.
They are.
They are just missing out. This is a great place to be, and it is a very positive place to be.
Yeah, and and basically, I've got to the point where, because I moderate a few channels, I don't moderate as many channels as I used to moderate in many ways. Or I should say, I probably still am technically a moderator on them, but a lot of channels don't go live as often as they used to anymore. So over the years, like I might be moderator on 50 different channels, but that's not to say all of them go live at least once a week or something like that. But those that I'm a regular on, I'm usually a moderator to supply links. And RJ is the worst because he could be talking about something random, Charles. He's like, hey, grab a link to current Rockman's available on Reverb. I'm like, what? Huh?
Well,
Okay. And then everyone's like, why are the prices in Canadian, Charles? Well, because you have the Canadian
out there like Terry, and Terry is just phenomenal as a moderator. I mean, just he moderates everywhere, and you always refer to him as moderator stars, and it's true because when he's there, and he knows what to get and what not to get.
You know where that came from, Charles? You should know. You've watched all the videos.
I've watched them all, but I don't remember where that particular thing came from.
I'm sure I've said it on air, but okay. So when I first discovered live streams on YouTube 4.5 years ago, we'll say, and I started hanging out, and I found like Steve from Boston, the Tone King, Phil McKnight, the OG crowd,
right?
In the blues, and I saw this Terry guy in the chat with a wrench, and people were like, hey, we're strolling here, and all of a sudden Terry or Steve from Boston be like, hey, where I'm talking about Ibanez's, this is Ibanez. He was talking about Fenders, is what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden Terry had, so I'm new. Like we're talking new. Like new.
Randy and Magic Man, that's why we love you.
I didn't know how this all worked. I'm like, you're live streaming. You got to have some kind of infrastructure, Charles, of some kind. Like, I don't know how it works. IT department stuff, even though I kind of flirted in IT. I knew what I knew, but I didn't know this. So I thought Terry worked for YouTube, and because he seemed to know about guitar stuff. So maybe like, like, hey, Charles, you want to moderate for YouTube? Yeah. So what do I do? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you work in office or you work from home, but you're into guitars, so you moderate all the freaking guitar guys. So the rest of us don't have to because we're all a bunch of weirdos and they're nerds and we don't like them. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then I found out, didn't take me that long because I was less new each time. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, all right. And then I started moderating for people that I was regular with. As you know, Charles, and especially it's you hang out with a channel that starts out, it's a buddy of yours. He goes, hey, Charles, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. You mind moderating for me? Because just in case we get a Russian bot or I need you to throw a link in or something. You're like, I can do that because it's only going to be Ben and Terry and Magic Man watching anyway. So why not?
Well, then there's Doug.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, it's a couple years later, and they're successful, and and you're like, oh, look at that. And then some new guy comes in, he goes, I wonder if that Charles75N guy works for YouTube. See? Circle of life. Circle of life, folks.
Well, the funny thing was, too, it never occurred to me that all the people in the chat that they might have channels. You know,
Sorry?
It never occurred to me that all the people in the chat might actually have channels.
All right.
And
So what's a bot?
look at that, right?
Yeah, I'm probably flag for YouTube for saying all this. So what's a bot? A bot is basically, technically, it's a channel or a person in the chat, technically, but it's an automated algorithm, AI, if you will, that just is programmed to search out live streams on YouTube, regardless of genre, and then just go in, drop in a web link, and leave. Find another one. Boom, boom. Oh, excuse me. So yeah. So and that's the funny thing is, and I think Phil summed it up pretty good for mods on his show, was like, he's like, especially at a channel his size, like, I don't know how many of you moderate for even your friends, you know, because most of my friends are my moderators. That's how it started out. That's how most of my moderators are my friends, you know. That's the way it works. Because they're people I can trust, and they know me up here, Charles. You know what I would allow and what I wouldn't allow, you know, which is nice. So I don't actually have to go in and moderate my own life because I'm busy hanging out with you, having fun, talking gear. But as you get bigger, you attract more legit trolls, and fortunately, YouTube's algorithm is good at holding comments for review, and I read crap every week that nobody should have to hear said to them, whether it's a variety of generalities or personal level. Just saying, you know, over the course of a few years, I've seen some not nice people, we'll just say. Fortunately, they're held for review, but sometimes they get through, you know, and people see them in chats because they're politely worded. Like, that makes it any better.
Yeah.
Words hurt, folks. And but I think nobody gets compensated for moderating for a channel other than a thank you, maybe a shout out, you know. I'll be honest, like, I enjoy getting a shout out. Like, when I moderate for a large channel and they shout me out, thank you. I help it because more you cool cats are like, oh, like Charles goes, oh, Ben's got a channel. Oh, didn't know. You know, and it's amazing how many people I'm like, Charles, we've hung out in the channel together for a year, buddy. You know, like, you haven't kind of figured that, you know. And not that I'm any big deal or any way, shape, or form, but, you know, like, people like you now go, hey, I'm looking forward to your show tonight, you know, stuff like that.
Well, and that's the kind of thing, the way you do it, because there's, you know, there's that etiquette when you're on someone's show. You don't want to push your own stuff. But it's also, you know, people don't think that these other people might have a channel too. So, you know, and Pete's really good about that. He'll see a comment like that, and like he did today, and he'll say, oh yeah, Ben's got a show tonight, he's getting ready, you know, go ahead and go on over there when you're done here, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, which is always great. And that's kind of the deal. Like, I'll, you know, like, hey, do you want to moderate? I'm like, do you mind if I mention my channel from time to time? Or, like, especially if I want to, because, hey, I got something cool coming on, because not to do one of those, but I get a cool guest every once in a while, like Charles, you know, like, and that thing, like, I try to get cool people on every week, and pretty much, you know, I'm batting pretty close to 1,000. You know, there's been a couple, and I'm not going to mention names, but there's been a couple there. They were not fun, and those people won't be back.
You've got a really cool swath of guests. You know,
I try.
People in the industry and people that, you know, and people that are just starting out, everywhere from between. So you know that you're going to get the full breadth of the guitar community in this channel.
Well, it's all about the hang. Like, if I'm going to invite friends over, you don't know who's going to be here. You know, it's like going to any of your friends' party and expecting everybody to be interested in the same thing is not going to happen, or, you know, or all be in the same walk of life or what have you. But we do have commonalities, and that's guitar/music. So, or it's something random that I just think's cool that hopefully would at least tie in with music. That'll be on this channel anyways. But on the other hand, you know, or it'll be sort of like Cousin Doug. he's a big music fan, but Doug and I get along well, and we think it can be entertaining at times because a few people that started. Oh, Charles, before
I haven't watched NASCAR in years. I mean, I haven't watched NASCAR since Richard Petty,
right?
But I started following NAS Canucks just because that relationship between you and Doug was hilarious.
And we, that's the funniest thing is, before either of us started YouTube, we had talked about doing vlogs of our trip down south, but we either forgot or didn't get around to it, whatever reason. And I think it was good. We had decided after the last trip, we're like, we got a vlog, blah blah blah, and that was definitely in the works to start our own YouTube. And it wasn't NAS Canucks or anything like that, but because nobody was doing live stuff at that time, so it was just because we'd be sitting around and we thought people were laughing because we're just a couple of token Canadians, which I'm sure that was part of it. But but Doug and I going back and forth, and Doug has a very dry sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but it is definitely there.
Okay, Charles, because I know the way Doug can just saunter into a room. You can tell he's got a bit of a swagger at times, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, look, there's one of those trolls now. See? Bot. Sorry. Terry, moderator. That's what they're... Thank you. See? That's how it works. Circle of life. Circle of life, folks. Circle of life. So, yeah. They sidetrack you.
It does. But
yeah, so I'm hanging out with these fellow campers down in the infield, right? And Doug comes walking up. And with not so much as a hello, just a couple of nods, breaks into a verbatim Howie Mandel stand-up routine from, let's say, 1983, 84. And these kids are in their early to mid-20s, so they wouldn't have heard it, But just with that dry cadence that Doug has, and I'm sitting there, Charles, and I'm dying. Like, I'm thinking they're going to notice me crying before they notice me laughing. It's one of those situations. And I just remember he went on for about 3 minutes straight. And he went, anyways, I got to poop. And he turns around and walked off. And I'm just like, Cousin Doug, folks. Cousin Doug.
Oh, he'll be here all week.
And I don't even think he was drunk.
Oh.
So yeah, good times on that show, and that's one of the reasons we end up doing the NAS Canucks, because I was like, dude, I'm pretty busy with my main channel, but I'm like, screw it, let's do it.
It was a lot of fun, and his cornhole channel's gotten really good too.
I'm really impressed. In fact, I can't really say, but there might be some Canadian broadcasting going on, like on our equivalent of ESPN, and he's hoping to be on the broadcast team.
Oh, very cool.
In some way, shape, whether it be in the booth or a panel or whatever.
Well, he's been working hard at that. So
yes, it was from that era, Ian's Guitar Shack. It just shocked me. He was just going on, and I was like, man, this sounds familiar, and it couldn't hit me. And he came back later and he goes, Howie Mandel? I'm like, yes, thank you. He's like, and he just kind of gave me that smirk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you going to do? I was like, yep. And not a lot of people saw that in life or see that in life with him. And that's one of the reasons I love with the YouTube show is people get to see that side of him. That, like, my mother, God rest her soul, she'd be like, you're going on vacation with that guy for 2 weeks? He's got no personality. Like, it's Doug. Like, hey. I was like, no. You go to sleep. Martin, I lost track of time too. Yeah, we'll wrap it up soon.
We're gonna have to,
yeah, we'll wrap it up soon. So, anywho, yeah, so that's fun. But yeah, so hopefully in a couple weeks from tonight, we'll have a big shoe. Lots of fun, folks. And then I got plans that I've been holding off on. I've been delaying, is what I'm saying. They've been pushed back, if you will. Got a few cool returning guests. I don't know, maybe a new guest or two. It's been a while since I've had somebody new on, I think. I don't know. But that's okay. Because, as you said, Charles, you've seen all the views. Like, we've had a lot of different people on the channel that I can just have repeat guests even, and then I think I could go with a guest a week for a year and it still just be a different one every week.
You've got guys that still have stories left to tell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
speaking of which,
Green was incredible.
well, I was thinking about getting him next week. And I'm like, no, I think I had the two of you back to back previous, like, so I was like, you can't have Charles.
Charles channel.
Someone, it's like the spam segment from Monty Python. Spam spot sausage. So we got Charles, Mayhem and Charles, Tinkerbell, Ian's Guitar Shack and Charles, Janice Charles. Yeah, that's the lineup. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do a group hang. That should be fun. And you folks, we didn't really talk a lot of guitar. We talked some guitar, but
Just a little bit.
one of those hangs, right? That, especially with, again, the returning guests. We hang out, we have fun, and
That's the whole thing. You get together with friends, and you're like, you have an intention to do something, but that's not what ever happens.
Geez. Yeah, and I was thinking about doing that. I don't know if you folks would be interested. And actually, Aaron was really good at it, so I might get Aaron to do it. But so Aaron and I FaceTime every so often, right? And so all of a sudden, he wanted to hear my backstory. Like, he's like, all right, I know your family did that, and you did, like, it's like, what happened during this period of time? And so he was pulling it out of me. Like, I was surprised. And so I don't know if folks would be interested in hearing that at all, and I thought he would be good to do it, or like do one of those, hey, you interview me type shows. But I don't like spam.
I want to see Tink again, because I didn't get enough Tink.
Tink
is an onion, I'm telling you.
I think we definitely have to do a dedicated Tink show, rather than, because we get them in group hangs, but yeah, we'll do it. We'll definitely get Tink back on. I'll hit you up, Tink, or you hit me up. Have your people contact, and we'll arrange. So yeah, basically, I'm taking guests after the 2 weeks from tonight, or if you want to come on 2 weeks from tonight, you're more than welcome. Janice is glad she doesn't have any more Sunday shows. That's awesome, Janice. I know you're a busy woman. God, if I had half your energy. A Tinktacular show, yeah. And somebody mentioned 2 weeks from tonight's the Super Bowl. Who cares?
Yeah, no one will watch it anyway.
It literally drops my viewership by 5, because so many of you folks that do watch the foosball have it on the TV and me here and both. And I don't know. I never got into the football. A lot of standing around for me. It was a little much.
We have a rule in my house. I mean, I have gone to, like, I will watch Steve on replay. I'll watch Phil on replay. I will watch the Tone King on replay. But I will make every one of your shows that I can. There's got to be something happening that I don't make one of your shows live.
And I noticed that. I think it was a month or so ago. Like, there was, like, I think you missed like a Sunday end of mine. I'm like, what's up with Charles? I'm like, Charles is usually always here. And that takes a lot for me to notice when someone's missing. No offense, folks, but it takes, like, when you're there that's like Terry missing from the chat. I noticed when Terry's missing from the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's kind of, my wife and I have this understanding. You can, I will watch everybody else, but these 2 nights you got to let me have.
And I should say, yes. And, like Magic Man, I should be interesting enough to be on the show at some point, whatever, like, I remember, Charles, you and I discussed that, this cool thing. We got 53 people watching. So, it's like one of the, get a camera. Yeah. Like, you want to get the stuff. But I remember you were like, I don't know if I want to come out. I'm like, well, let's do a group hang first. We'll ease you in.
But that was the whole thing. I was like, why do you want me on the channel? I was like, why me?
We not have a good time hanging out. Yeah. And that's why I always like the group hangs are usually a good to dip your toe in, because if you can ease back from conversation, like you're thinking, oh, I hope they don't ask me about this. I'm not really sure what to talk about. And if I notice you're just kind of easing back, I'll just let you be easing back. I don't know. Maybe it was one or two many cold snacks. I don't know. So I don't judge. So, because I've been on that hangs where I'm also, wow, Ben hasn't talked in half an hour. Nope, I'm fine. I'm just eased back.
It's something else. There are so many great people that wander through this channel. It's amazing.
It is true. And you don't know who's going to show up, like, on the show, in the chat. Like, well, he's not going to watch it, Charles, but I don't know if you remember, what was it? My birthday hang last year when semi-intoxicated Pete Thorne showed up in the chat.
Yeah, remember that?
Eating tacos. He's like, I'm eating tacos. We're like, okay, Pete.
Having his David Hasselhoff moment.
Yeah. And I was just like, see? Like, we're all the same. We all enjoy hanging out.
You know, and Pete's got his own unique thing going, right? You know, and it's not, Pete's channel is really super unlike anyone else's channel. And I watch Pete's channel. So much just goes over my head.
It would be really hard to pigeonhole, because it's like professional sideman that does YouTube, or YouTuber that made well because he was doing the professional sideman long before the YouTube, but he's been doing YouTube a long time, you know, and he's kept it up. And nobody else has really done that. Yeah, Pete's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yes,
kid from Edmonton that did good.
Well, it's like, you know, it about killed me that time he called me out on his channel. I was like, really? I was like, no way.
Yeah, and if you're watching on replay, Pete, you get it.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's you get everywhere from Pete to Sean to Charles Green. It's just the great people running through here, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah. All right. Mayhem asks, well, yeah, we'll go with this because it's already been over 2 hours. Do you have some names you can tell us that are on your bucket list for this year? Ooh. Because I'll be honest, there are some people I would like to approach, but I'd like to have a few zeros on the old subscriber count, you know? So you can approach, I don't know who. Let's just say Jakey Lee. Like he'd be like, why would I? I don't know you. But if all of a sudden you got like, I don't know, Rick Beato numbers. Hey, it helps for that to get the professionals on that don't necessarily get what we do, but if they're into this, definitely like, excuse me, I'm going to ask, and I'm pretty sure, like I'll give the Johnny Highland. I think we'll have Johnny on in the not too distant future.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Beyond that, I haven't really thought about it because not to say, but I've been getting a little burnt out with the show in one respect, but because I do it every week and have for years. With the only time off I've had is not necessarily the best points in my life away from YouTube. So it's not like I've had a real break from it, but that's one of the reasons I book a lot of repeat guests, because it's just easier. I know what I'm getting into, but on the other hand, I've kind of interviewed
well, and when you have a repeat guest, it's not the same show twice.
No, I try not to be. Definitely. And I'm just trying to think, because I don't know who I'd like to get on. Like, I'd have to sit down and really think about it. And that's one of the reasons I've had so many repeat guests on, because I'm like, I don't know who I want to have on. Beyond people that I can't get on, that I know I can't get on. Like, let's get Ace Frehley on. That'd be awesome. That's not going to happen. Thanks, Magic Man. Oh, and that's the thing. Like, and I always end up having a good time. Like, it's just, like you say, it's like any job in a sense. You do it long enough, and then it's become a job, but it hasn't become a job because it's one of those like, oh, it's like if you have a great job that you love, it's still the commute to work, getting up, doing what you got to do to get there. But then once you're there, you have a great time, like I am tonight. So, well, I'd like to get Jasko on. That'd be really cool. I haven't seen Jasko around. I hope he watches on. I think he watches on replays, and I hope he's doing well. Go Jasko.
Well, it's like, Randy Crooks was.
And who would you guys like to see on? Maybe that'd help inspire me. Definitely, like hit a fella up and help a fella out. Like, let me know, And if you happen to know somebody, for instance, I mentioned that because, like, not to, hey Charles, do you know any famous people that I can have on, and use your friendship? No, it's like our friend of the channel, Vandy Man, who won one of my signature guitars.
Mm-hmm.
He is friends with Sean Hurwitz. He put me in touch with Sean, or put Sean in touch with me. He got us together, so that and Sean and I have become friends. Sean's due to get back on soon again.
He is.
It's, like Sean, I'd like to have Sean on every 3 months. And then all of a sudden it's been 7 months. And you're like, oh crap. But then again, I might have had him on a month ago and forgotten already. See, that happens too. And that's how people like Tinkerbell end up on back-to-back group hangs. Because then you realize halfway through the second hang, he was on the first one.
There you go. But it's really cool because Randy Crooks was saying how you dragged him on one day, and but It's great because it's these people you see in the chat all the time. They're being
like I fully expect Randy should be coming on in 2 weeks from tonight, assuming he remembers to turn his microphone on, figured out what the problem was, forgot to turn it on. But yeah, like he's been binge watching so long. I fully accept, because he's responsible for a large segment of that million views. You know what I'm saying? So you better be coming on in 2 weeks. Simon Hosford, definitely will get him back on. And I think, pretty much, as far as I know, I haven't pissed off any former guests to the point where they won't return on. That I know of.
Yeah, you got a good thing going here, Ben.
Yeah. Yeah, and that will definitely happen too, Terry. If and when I ever get decent bandwidth, I'd like to get back to, let's do the Canuck show of me playing guitar and talking. Oh, that was something else I'm going to try to work. I might actually hook up the interface this week. Get the digitals installed, Charles.
I have been missing Greasy Weasel.
I was playing that the other day. And I was playing it in, because I play it normally in drop D. I was playing in drop C.
Oh.
Yes, JJ is going to be back soon, I will say. And this is not talking to JJ at all, Charles, but I know he's been in the studio the last couple of weeks, so I'm giving him space.
JJ, he promised, and it'll be okay.
Yeah. I'm letting him finish up his recording he's doing right now, and then we'll get him on to talk about it, which will be awesome. I love JJ. Brother James. Okay.
A little worried about Magic Man.
I think Magic Man would be fun. You see, again, group hang.
No. Look at the chat.
Fell in love with the bartender tonight. Yikes. She's so oh. I have been there. I'm not saying we had a rule and there's a okay, so we have a rule in every band, Charles, a 4-piece band, you carry a quarter of the gear. There's a reason I had Mark Taft at all the gigs, so I didn't have to carry any gear. And so while he was carrying the gear, once I became single, I was talking with the bar staff, who are generally okay with dating musicians because we keep similar hours. I get it. Been there. Yeah, JJ's new music is awesome. Check out JJ's House of Jams channel. He put up a 4 or 5 minute video, highlight reel of recording sessions. Some of the songs I recognize, some I didn't, which is cool because I know they're always writing stuff, and there's certain songs that they've literally been polishing for years.
Yeah, he is always an interesting character.
Yep. So On that note, well, let's see. Before we wrap up, coming up this week, well, I don't have to do the whole coming up this week because we got tomorrow. But tomorrow, Canucks with Guitars. Tuesday, NAS Canucks. Wednesday, do I do that diabetes in a bottle? Soda pop tasting of some form.
Give the kidneys a rest.
I've got to the point now where it used to be I always limit myself to like maximum 1 can of pop a day. Treat yourself 1 can of pop a day. Because when I was a kid, I was allowed 1 a day, you know. So I was like, okay, when we had it. So it's like usually I'll have it with dinner, but if I'm doing a show that night, I'm like, well, you're gonna want to have one on air. So do you really want to have 2 cans of pop? No, I don't. So unless I'm doing a bunch of stuff where I'll work it off, but so yeah. Soda pop tasting video Friday. I don't know. Am I going to shoot an actual demo? No. It's been a few months. I've gotten to the point now, Charles, I have to rethink demos to the point where, that's a groove I haven't been in a long time. So,
yeah.
Hey, Rob.
It's like a 2-3 minute noodling video.
You know, the problem, I want to get the audio sorted, and I got an idea. Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know if I can mic up. I want to use like a lav mic that I know is going to pick up guitar, but I got a Y splitter, so I can still mic an amp as well. And I figured that'll just drown out this, basically. So I want to play with that, but I gotta get crap organized, moved around, and this is getting immediately changed. I don't think I'm going to have a guitar necessarily highlighted here anymore. It's a hassle, but I thought I would move. Oh yeah, there. Let's type 1 in the chat if you agree, 2 if you don't. I was going to take these and move them over here. So you just have a rack of guitars in front of the amps. 1, to do that. 2, easy now. Don't be moving guitars around. We got 50 people to vote. Randy, tonight was a liver rest for Ben. Ben actually hasn't had a drink in over 2 months.
Yeah.
Not that I'm proving anything. It was just, as Richie said, what, you run out of booze and just didn't bother? I'm like, yep, pretty much. So we got 3 1s and a 2. Hey, other left. Hey, Steve Luther. 1 1s. And then I thought about it. This is me, Charles. It's my YouTube channel, but I'm like, is that too pretentious to have guitars?
No, it's one of those things where it's not like you're bringing new ones in every week, you know.
That's true.
It's the thing I like about watching your channel is that when I see a guitar, I know it's one that's there. It's got a purpose. It's something that you care about.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and these guys that go through guitar after guitar after guitar, it kind of turns me off after a while.
Oh yeah, like, and believe me, I would love to buy a new guitar every week. That would be awesome. You know, but I would, of course, flip most of them.
Yeah,
you know, because bring them in to demo them.
Yeah,
like
I would
never
really appreciate anything though.
Well, that's true. But the ones I'd like, you know, you keep around, and those are the, you know, is it a keeper? Is it not a keeper? Or whatever. But on the other end, because I've always flipped gear, that would be nice, you know, because then you can end up with the stuff like we're talking about off air that I want that I cannot get because it's too nice. That's Dave Nesdahl guitar territory is what I'm talking about. So speaking of that, Guitar Town Hall every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Dave Nesdahl YouTube channel. Possibly Larry Mitchell this week. Possibly not. We'll see. So yeah. So okay. So hey Mark, guess what we're doing tomorrow? Maybe if we're really ambitious, you'll see the new. Because I realized with the more subtle lighting and stuff, it would look. Then I can turn that lamp off, and then you just kind of just see off in the background. So it's subtle, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to, hey, I got a rack of guitars. It's just more like, hey, there's some gear back there, but we're focused on this, which I think might help with the autofocus issues more as too.
Yeah, you're right, and it's like here, I got the 3 hangers because those are the 3 builds, right? Those are the 3 that I made, that I put
Yep.
together, and I wanted to show them off.
Sure.
And, and everything else stays in the rack.
Plus it frees up more space in the rack for 3 more guitars.
Oh yeah, those were sitting around because there was no space in the rack. So, but it was like, but I wanted to be able to show them off,
Well, I'm just thinking, yeah, because you see, what do you see? That, and then, okay, so you see 9, basically, because if we count, no, wait, those, no. Where does the backdrop? I need a different backdrop. I need something more black. Anyways, you see that? That's 7. But there's another 10.
Yeah, where your hand stops there, right where your name is, there's a guitar. And then there's one after that. Okay, well, yeah. It's hard to tell because what's the background picture and what's the thing? Wow.
Yeah. See, and then we turn more, and then there's more. See, because I don't use that light anymore. But see, yeah, there's. Believe me, when Mark Taft was over here for the first time in a while, he hadn't been over in a while, and he didn't know about the new rack. He thought they were just moved out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no. What was once 10 is now 17. Because you remember I used to have all those stands back there, and it looked like a pawn shop. All right, it still looks like a pawn shop, but it looked like a more well-stocked pawn shop. My idea was cleaning up was, why don't you clean up and sell some gear? No, we'll just get a rack and just.
Yeah. I find that when my wife comes in the office and she looks around, there's guitars sitting around, she starts counting them. But if they're all neatly put away.
Exactly. So there we go. I don't know. Oh, might do something with the access. Somebody asked, Chad Tobin in one asked in the premiere last week when I did the BC Rich, what's up with the access? I think it's close to needing new strings. That's the other thing with having 17 guitars, and you need to make a video once a week, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty much find a guitar a week that needs some strings or adjustment, or
there's always something to do.
There's always something. Oh, clean the bench. That might be this week's video, folks. Cleaning the bench. No, that was going to be combined with the soda pop tasting, Ben. Talked about that off air. Just gave it away on air. There's your Easter egg, all 56 of you. So, yeah. All right. On that note, Charles, any parting thoughts? My God, we've gone 2.5 hours somehow.
Just that, I had a great time being here, and I appreciate all the comments in the chat. And that this channel is something special, and I hope it stays that way. I know.
And if you dug the ranting or the I don't know, it was therapeutic tonight. I got, we talked. See, that's the hang, Charles, right? On the return hang. What's up with you, Ben? This is what's up, Charles. And that's why I was like, I want to hang out with you. And you're like, why? I'm like, I think you're kind of cool. And you're like, are you sure? I know you like your glass saxophone, but
I know me. I'm not that interesting.
Hey, I'm just a nerd that likes gear, and I found a bunch of you other cool kids that are nerds that like gear. So we're just hang out, and that's why it's the Sunday night hang. It's not the Sunday night guitar talk, or I used to have gigs and gear and whatever, or talking, this or no. It's just a hang. It's a hang. Everyone fire up a playlist. I like that idea, Jeff. Do that. We'll be back tomorrow, Terry and me.
Thank you.
Positive vibe for Tom. We'll talk about Tom tomorrow. Haven't heard from him since the time I heard from him, but I'll mention that again tomorrow. So on that note, yeah, I'll be here with Terry in case somebody else jumps in with us, which, well, not right now. That was him, not me. Nobody's jumping in tonight. Oh, that is fruit punch burps. Great. Yeah, I'm going to have to sleep through that. Oh, got to find the cat carrier. Mark Taft, where did we put the cat carrier? He'd know. He helped me clean out the storage unit. There was a cat carrier. But I think I know where it is. Go outside. It's up on the shelf. One of the 20 shelves out there. Great. On that note, I'll be back. See, rambling. Don't have the show ending queued up? No, I'll sell out, Buzz, but I'll only sell out to the cool kids. Like, it's like Friedman's like, hey, do you want some amps to put in the backdrop? Yes, Dave. Yes, I will take some Friedmans. You know, it's got to be cool gear. But if like Faceless Corporation is just like, hey, you know, I'm like, hey, they're like, you want to do all these shredder guitars? I'm like, not particularly. All right. Well, we got a Telecaster shaped object. Now we're talking, Charles. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So that's right. Guitar Man 45, he's been around pretty much since day one, too. Day one,
Yeah.
too? Day 12. Let's go with that. Sure, he's been around since day 12. On that note, that's Charles. I'm Ben. This has been the Sunday Night Hang. Please like, subscribe. Only share if your friends are into this stuff. And if they are, share it. If you're not, don't. They won't get it. They'll say, what are you, a nerd? What? Why?
Share it.
Why would you watch? Why?
Share
The
it.
Charles guy was all right. That Ben guy, not so much. I don't know how that worked out. Anywho's, let's do a different outro tonight. Let's do this one. Haha, they thought I wasn't going to do my outro.
There you go.
I debated. Hold those doors open. Let that lady ahead of you in traffic. Do good things and good things will happen to you. Why? Because Charles75N is real. Yep, it's right there. Peace, folks. Happy tone chasing. And of course,
Take care, everybody.
don't litter.